Okay, you guys, so this was kind of funny because right now I was trying to do this fancy intro to this and into this video, and I just had to keep deleting them because it felt like I was trying too hard to kind of start talking about this. And sometimes I guess this is going to be the point of this, is sometimes things are just messy and imperfect. And sometimes they don't have to be bright and shiny. They don't have to be the best, because life just isn't that way. And that kind of leads into what I'm going to talk about right now. I came up with a couple of different titles, and as of right now, as I'm speaking, I still don't know what title for sure I'm going to go with, but one of the titles was Depression Land of Instagram Inadequacy. And it really just touches on the pain point of what a lot of people experience when they surf social media and are noticing that after they're surfing and looking at pictures, and it's not just Instagram, it's all social media. Just like anything else, there's good and bad to everything. And I think when we do something in extreme, that's when it can become a problem, and social media is no different than that. And so a conversation came up recently with my son and my kids, and we were talking, and my son was talking about how, after he surfs on Instagram, he feels depressed. And I know I felt that way before too. And I started doing a little bit of research, and it turns out that there's all kinds of studies that show that people who are excessively on any of the social medias, there is a negative side to it, that people tend to be more depressed, and there's a reason. And I even learned a new term. There's a term called FOMO. It's an anagram, FOMO, and it's fear of missing out. And it's not just the fear of missing out. I think it's deeper than that. I think, people are always online because they fear that they're going to be missing something. People also feel that they have a responsibility, that if they get an alert, they have to respond to it. And that just isn't true either. I highly recommend anyone listening to this turn their alerts for social media off and maybe check it. I don't know. I was going to say once a day, but I could just hear you guys already. For some of you, you're checking it all day long, and that's just, you got to learn moderation first before you can really get to that level. So reducing it so that you're actually living, because we could spend a lot of our time online and it isn't real. And so while you're watching this video, you're seeing my daughter. I told her, make me look like you. She wanted to do my makeup. And so I said, okay, go ahead. She was visiting from California. And I said, okay, why don't you focus on making me look exactly like you? Because I don't put all the attention into my makeup the way that she does. And so her goal was to do my makeup and make me her. I would never wear the eyelashes that she put on me. So it was fun. It was just a fun little thing. But the point of that was that although she dressed me up, it wasn't me. And some of the photos in the end you'll see were just photos that had no touches on them, where you can see my bags and my wrinkles, but the pictures at the end were touched. And people present their best on Instagram. They touch up their photos. They present their life as happy as they can be. They do. They share their best happy that they can. Most people are not sharing their insecurities and their faults. Some do. But when you see people like, spiritual people, even like myself, or healers or coaches, we're always presenting the best side of ourselves. But the reality is we experience the doubts and the fears like everyone else. The reason why we got into this to begin with is because we had all those fears and those doubts. If we went to healing, chances are we started doing healing because we needed to be healed for something. We suffer a lot we suffer a lot. And we're on this effort to live our best life. And so one of the things that I'm really committed to doing is when I post positive things, I also want to share when a legitimate fear popped up for me, or when I was really just about to feel like I was going to give up on something, or I was doubting myself. I don't so much give up on things anymore. I more or less have learned to stick through the uncomfortable moments, because when you do that, you actually get to the other side to see what's there. And this is something new for me, and I like to share those kind of feelings that I have. If I felt like I was about to maybe not be as committed, or I was thinking that maybe I needed to change something, or I started to have doubts about whether or not something was going to work that I've been doing, that's really normal. But people are not presenting all of that online. They're presenting their best happy. And I think that's what we need to understand, is that we're not sharing any of the bad moments or the pain that we feel or the aloneness that we feel. When you surf online, people are presenting the good moments. It's just like, I remember watching a movie one time, and someone was talking about the diary, people writing in diaries, and that, or photo albums. It was photo albums, that you could look through photo albums, and what you're going to see is all the good parts, because nobody puts in the bad times. No one's photographing the hard stuff and putting them in photo albums. And Instagram is and all the other social medias are the same. They're not publishing pictures that are full of depression and make them sad. They're only presenting the happiness. So if somebody is going through a rough patch and they're surfing online and all they're seeing is how happy everybody is, one, it's not true. But it could increase a person feeling like they're doing something wrong and increase that depression. And so I just want to say some of the things that we could avoid is, first, limit how often you go on it. So remove all of your alerts so that you don't get alerts when people are, posting. And maybe go check in, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or, in the morning and at night. Maybe give the afternoon a break and do what you can to modify how much you're going online. That's going to be a big one, because when you start doing that, then you stop comparing. That's the other thing that people do a lot, is you look at how other people seem to have everything so together, and whatever it is that you're currently focused on to work on, because it's something you need to work on, and you see a bunch of other people seemingly just able to have these great happy lives and be able to just easily do what it is that you're struggling with, it can become a source of depression for people, because they're struggling with the thing that someone else is so happily doing. And we don't know the other story to that. We don't know if they're really struggling or not. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, you just learned something about me, that I never sneeze just like twice. I always sneeze more than 3 times, so excuse me. But anyway, people are just, they go online because they're afraid of missing out. They want to also feel connected, and I think it's normal and natural for everyone to feel connected. And in a way, there's some great things, because it does, connect people that, like family members that can't be together all the time and who live in different states and all of that. There are definitely good things about social media, but when we feel depressed, there's reasons for that. And so if you're one of those people listening and you often are online and you're surfing and it only shines a light on your deepest sadness, then you're on it too much, and there's definite steps that you can do to reduce that, which is more interaction with real people. Take the alerts off your phone, modify how often you go online, just have a social, I call it a social media diet. Do a social media diet for a month. And for me, I actually, for several months, I literally deleted all of my social media, and I, of course, had to start all over, and I never went back to Facebook. I really didn't even want to go back on Instagram, but you do kind of need some presence out there when you have a business. And so I did choose Instagram to do that on. And so I don't have, I think I do have a LinkedIn, but I never use it. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have Facebook. I don't want all of those. I just have one. That's kind of all I want. I mean, I have other ones on there, but they're totally inactive and I don't even know the passwords to them anymore. So the key in everything is the middle way, being right down the middle, being balanced about things. That's the way that you get through things, is by being balanced, and also by realizing that everyone that you're seeing in happy pictures, everyone is not happy. Everyone struggles with something. Everyone has a level of depression that ebbs and flows, and you're no different than that. If you're feeling that, and that our emotions ebb and flow, our depression ebbs and flows. Some days we feel strong, some days we do not feel strong. And if you just allow yourself to have those feelings and honor that, but then realize that what we want to do is just be moving forward. We want to focus on things in the future, and that prevents us from focusing on everything in the past or things that we feel inadequate about. And stop focusing on comparing yourself to other people, and just be grateful for where you are, and just move forward with whatever plans you have for yourself. If one person is doing something great, let's bless them in the greatness that they're doing, and then be real and realize that there are other things in that person's life, and I'm sure that they are very well aware of what they're suffering, that they're just not putting it out there. We don't know what that is. And what that does is it just means that all of us have things that we have to suffer through and that we have to learn. And that's kind of what makes us human. So I don't like to present perfection all the time. Even in my videos, you'll see mess ups. I don't try and be perfectly glamorous at all times. I'm just not worried about that. And I've just learned to live in my own skin and be happy. I have a saying that we're perfect in our imperfection. And I hope that you can begin to see that for yourself, because you are also perfect in your imperfection. So that's all I have to say for today. Cut down your social media use as soon as possible and set realistic goals. If you want to see me more and stay in touch, you can email me at Sufani at Place of Bliss Sanctuary. You can follow me on Patreon. I would love for you to become a Patreon member. You can become an Ambassador of Light or a Global Council for Goodness member. And it is a membership equals community kind of thing. And I'm growing that Patreon page, and I want it to be a great source of just community and sharing and continued education. And where else? You can also find me on YouTube and subscribe to my page for my quantum quickies that I put out every week. And I think that's it. Oh, placeofblisssanctuary.com if I didn't say it. So, okay, you guys, well, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the little makeup tutorial there, and the goofiness and the big eyelashes and all that good stuff. And know that, you just got to be who you are at the end of the day. At the end of the day, we took some photos, and guess what I did? I washed off all the makeup and I pulled off those eyelashes, because you know what? That's not me. And I love me, and I'm inviting you to love you also exactly as you are. What? How many videos do we have to do? This is ridiculous. I'm going to start charging you.
Wait, fix my hair for me. My bangs. Out of my lips.
Jeez Louise. Come on. This is embarrassing.